Hey guys, welcome to day one of take three. Okay. So guys, yes, I am starting take three, which is like I told you guys, we are gonna try to stick to this, and I'm really gonna make this effort as hardcore as possible. With that being said, we're gonna talk about my first day back as carnivore and how it went, how I feel. So, without further ado, let's get started, guys. I hope you're hanging in there as well. Um, so today, okay, today my goal was to make it through the mind games, okay, because when you're eating all of these amazing foods, right? Pizza and all the naughty foods, right? You can think of all the ones you want. Whatever's these amazing foods to you, I'm sure you can think of them. And your mind, hormones, all the things that your body will start to psychologically mess with you as well. And my goal was to, I didn't want to go, well, I'm just going to have nothing but broth today and then maybe like a steak or like some hamburger meat or whatever later on. I wasn't going to worry so much about portions, which I don't normally worry about anyways. But I just said, okay, my goal is to make it through today with just eating carnivore approved foods. Okay. That was my goal. So for lunch, I was, or actually, I knew I was going to start getting hungry early or earlier than I normally do on carnivore because I haven't been on carnivore, right? So I knew that I was going to have those major hunger signals earlier. And of course I was right. Like 10:30 a.m. I was already starting to have grumbles. So I took, and I had probably about 2 cups worth of bone broth. Okay. That was just to kind of feed some nutrients and just sort of reward my body for just taking in those nutrients and not doing anything bad, like getting a McMuffin or something or whatever. Well, then I got to, I think probably about 1 or 2 o'clock, and I was getting a caffeine withdrawal headache. Now, I had thought about quitting coffee because, as a lot of you may know, I do coffee, about 20 ounces of coffee. I would do after dinner, once a day with a splash of heavy cream. And a lot of you have been saying, hey man, like the cheese and cream is, once I stopped doing that, I started losing more weight. So I was always thinking that in the back of my mind. So I thought, well, maybe I'll quit coffee. Problem with that is that I haven't been drinking coffee in the last few weeks. The last few weeks, I switched to Monster energy drinks, and I've been drinking like 2 monsters a day. So I've been getting a huge amount of caffeine, and it was, even though it was the sugar free, I was getting a bunch of other crap. So I had a pretty severe slow pounding caffeine withdrawal headache going on by 1 o'clock. So around 2 o'clock, I finally decided to pull into the gas station, and I ended up getting, I got a cup of coffee with just a little splash of like half and half, because that's all they had. They didn't have any like creamer, so that was the best. Like they didn't have any like heavy cream, so I had to get some half and half. So I just used a little bit, and then I got a chomp stick. So of course, like that's like grass fed, zero sugar. And I got a small bag of BBQ pork rinds. Okay. I figured, hey, this is all within carnivore realm. And so with the coffee thing, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to wean myself down. I'm going to step down over the next few days. So a little less, little less, little less, instead of just straight cold turkey from like 2 monsters yesterday to like 1 coffee today. You know what I mean? So I'm going to start trying to step it down little by little. And then let's see. Also, that's my goal for coffee, and I do want to phase it out. And so tonight for dinner, when I got home, I had a pound and a half of hamburger left over, and I had some cheeses left over. Because one of my last meals as a non carnivore was homemade mac and cheese. So I had some cheeses left over. So I had a little bit of smoked Gruyere, and I had a little bit of Colby left over. Anyways, I don't want to give you guys recipe stuff that's naughty for you. It's not worth it because it'll hurt you in the end, right? It's toxic poison. It's good tasting toxic poison in those other foods. So, anyways, what I did was I took and I made like Salisbury steak style, like meatloaf style meat, basically, ground beef with a splash of heavy cream, some an egg, some pork rind crumbs, and some seasonings like garlic and onion or whatever, some seasonings. Mixed it all up, by hand, and made them into basically Salisbury steak patties. But I divided the patties in half as well and flattened them out thin. And then I put some Gruyere cheese, some smoked Gruyere cheese in like one of them. Then another one I did like the Colby. And so I ended up with 4 Salisbury steaks that were stuffed with cheese, basically. 2 of them with the Gruyere and 2 of them with the Colby. And then I made, with some of the bone broth I had and all that, I made a gravy, like a beef gravy. So I had in the end, I had the Salisbury steak and with beef gravy stuffed with the cheddar or Colby or the smoked Gruyere. Now I ate 3 of them. So I did the math. It was probably a little over a pound. Because I did save a pretty big one. So I would say it was probably close to about 1.2, 1 or 1.15 pounds of meat. So, but I'm pretty proud of myself because, again, I made it through the whole day. And I got to tell you, when I went to the gas station, right, it was a Sheetz, and I don't know if anybody's familiar with Sheetz, but they also have like made to order food there, and there's a lot of options. And I gotta say, as I knew I was going to Sheetz to use the restroom to get some coffee, like my mind was already trying to negotiate. It was like, well, Josh, they got like 2 for $2 hot dogs, and you could just, you could do the buns, and it'll just be a little bit of carbs. And then, for dinner, you can do your meatloaf or your Salisbury steak. Like, so you're just cutting down. Like, I was already negotiating with myself. I was already trying to convince myself, like, hey, you could have you could probably have like a carb, a little bit of carb, lunch, maybe even like just one energy drink. Maybe you don't have to get coffee. And then for dinner, you do carnivore. And then tomorrow you go full carnivore. You're like, I was trying to wheel and deal with myself. And I finally had to stick to my guns and be like, no, just get carnivore. All right. I told myself, get carnivore, stick to carnivore, and we're not failing this time. So, guys, that's my little story on the mentality that I went through for this. So I hope that you guys also, I really hope that you guys also do really well. Like I do, I'm doing. I know it's definitely not easy. I don't know. I don't know what happened from the first time I did it when I was so successful. Maybe my mentality was just so desperate then, but I feel like miserable. So I do feel like that mentality is finally coming back. Now, I do want to say positive things, and I will say this. So yesterday I wasn't carnivore, and by the end of the day, with eating like the homemade mac and cheese and stuff, I was so hurting. Like by the end of the day, let me just say, I was, and this has not been just yesterday. This has been like a lot of days recently. By the end of the day, I would be stuffed, bloated, and short breath because the bloating, you just felt so fat, and you're so fat and bloated and achy. The pains, it hurt to move, to get up from the couch. It was just miserable. And it's at night, trying to sleep and waking up every so often from snoring or sleep apnea again, whatever. But I will say this, just after one day, all right, I don't want to sound dramatic, but after one day at the end of and remember, I'm recording this, it's like, it's 1:50 in the morning. Okay, 1:50 a.m. So yes, I am technically going into the next day, but it's the end of the day. I haven't gone to bed yet. I'm getting ready to go to bed. So I just got home from my second job. So it's the end of the day, and I gotta say, I don't have that asthma type, like shortness of breath feeling. Like I have a good breath right now. I am full, but I'm not like uncomfortably bloated. There is a little bit of like a background hormonal hunger. I would say that's just like, again, hormones trying to mess with me a little bit, but I'm comfortably stuffed. I'm not like bloated, and I'm not as, the aches and pains are still here because again, my body is still, being rebellious right now. But you can tell, you can definitely tell that I'm not as inflamed as normal. There's less inflammation when you eat foods that aren't as inflammation, it doesn't have the inflammation factors as the other foods. Then yes, you're going to notice that difference a little bit, just even in that first day by the end of the day. So that's all I'm trying to say. But guys, we're in take 3 phase. I don't want to go to a take 4. I don't want to fail this time. Okay. I hope take 3 is the take. All right. I hope that take 2 is just a minor 2-week hiccup. And let's really push take 3. I really want you guys with me. Again, your guys' comments are always amazing. I do read them. And I will be going live one of these days. I'm going to go live. If you guys want to comment when, like what day, because it would have to be either like an evening. Like you guys tell me what evening, like which day is best for you guys. Now normally Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays are the 3 best days that I can usually go live. So, but they're usually going to be like 8 p.m. Eastern. Saturday or Sunday, I could probably go a little earlier, but you guys tell me when you would like to see me go live. All right, what time? And don't forget time zone. I'm in Eastern. Okay, I'm in Eastern time zone. So let me know in whatever comments on this video. Let me know what day of the week and what time you would like to see me go live. And I'll try to do that for you guys. sometime here, so that way we can, you know, it'd be fun, right? It'd be fun to go live and see what you guys think. And maybe answer any questions and things like that. But I also plan on doing another video on a topic, because every once in a while, you know, besides my daily videos, I do like to do certain subjects that come up that I feel like are important to address besides the dailies. That way, if people specifically see that topic, you know, in the thumbnail or the title, that, you know, they can just see that video. So there's a video I want to talk about, and I'll get to it. It's a lot about, it's something that is not, I think it's not addressed enough in the carnivore community. Not that I'm saying it hasn't been addressed, but I just feel like, I don't know if it's really, in my opinion, because I watch a ton of carnivore videos. Even to this day, I still watch a lot, but I don't feel like I really see this enough. So, and I'll get into it with my video. But anyways, guys, all right. As always, thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate your support. Love you guys. I really do. You guys mean the world to me, like my community here that's been helping me in the comments, and some of you regulars, you know who you are. You know, because if I start naming names, I'm gonna miss people. So you guys know who you are. You're the regular commenters, and you know I love you, and I try to click like and respond and when I can. But I do love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay. All right. Bye.